it seems so that after that you get focused on all other vaccines, and you wrote a book, Vaccine, Mythology, Ideology, and Reality. Can you tell us why you're mentioning, for example, this word mythology about vaccines?
Right. So this book is now a New York Times bestseller, Vaccines, Mythology, Ideology, and Reality. The mythology of vaccines is developed over 300 years, that they would have mystical properties, that they would save populations, that you could take a shot as a baby and it would protect the body for the entire lifetime. And so many of these claims were false, that there was bold hubris, a lot of fear of infectious disease, and a lot of money and power all rolled up together. And so from the very beginning, the vaccine industry was corrupt, and it depended on a religious ideology. People were asked to accept vaccines based on religious faith. And the ideology went like this. It said that humans are vulnerable to infectious disease, but the brilliance of mankind and science can improve the human body, improve upon God's creation. Yes, that means man improves God's creation. And with that, vaccines can save humanity. That's how this was presented. Now, since the vaccines aren't perfect, vaccine ideology says everybody must take them, everyone without exception. And if there are any injuries or disabilities or even death after vaccination, then people should accept that for the betterment of humanity. That's vaccine ideology. And so it is a stunning development. Look at the coin on the front of the book, the iconography. This is a 20-euro coin issued by the Pope Francis in 2022. It's a boy about to receive the Eucharist. But instead of receiving the body and blood of Christ, he's receiving the COVID vaccine. So you can see that the church, in this case the Vatican, has replaced the role of Christ as Savior with the COVID vaccine. So you can see how far this has gone.
Yes, very interesting thing. I was listening your colleague, John Leaks, who is co-author of this book, in the Tucker Carlson show, and he was explaining these symbols about this coin, what you're mentioning, and why Pope give a bless for vaccines. Even he said that it's act of mercy. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Well, even the Pope accepted vaccines based on faith. He assumed the vaccines would work. He assumed they were going to be safe and that it would show mercy if we use them. We should never assume any of those things. And so the vaccines were presented as an article of faith, like a talisman, and people accepted it based on faith, not based on science. And that's the reason why we saw all this irrational behavior around vaccines, people losing their jobs or kicked out of the military or couldn't go to school if they didn't take the vaccine. That's part of this irrational, delusional vaccine ideology.